So today let's look at how to calculate standard deviations. So as you can see on the screen, there are two kinds of standard deviations. There's population standard deviation and the sample standard deviation. Population means it's the whole population, okay? And sample means you take a sample from that population, okay? So there are two different things, and be careful not to confuse them. So as you can see, the formulas are very similar apart from some of the notation, and that with the sample standard deviation, we need to do n minus 1, okay? Now we need to do minus 1 for a complicated reason, which we're not going to discuss today. But the main thing to focus on is the formula itself, okay? So as you can see, the formula for the sample standard deviation is the square root of the sum of all the different x's, so xi minus the sample mean, brackets squared, and then over the sample size minus 1, okay? The variance is the variance is the standard deviation squared, okay? So in this case, it would be the population variance. So let's apply this to this exercise. So this exercise says, a set of temperature in degrees Celsius is taken in the workplace as follows. Given the value of the mean temperature is 19, find the standard deviation of this sample. Okay, so the first thing to notice is that we're dealing with a sample, okay? So as you can see, there are 6 days, and they recorded the temperature on each of those 6 days. Okay. They also tell us that the mean temperature is 19. So remember, in the notation, this would be this. Okay, so the mean temperature is 19. Okay. Now it says xi. What does that mean? It means, for instance, that day 1, right, is going to be x1. Okay. So the variable here, x, are the days. And I denotes, any number. So 1 to as many days as there are, okay? So x1, day 2 would be x2, day 3 would correspond to x3, x4, x5, and x6, okay? And as you can see, there's a value associated with that those x1, x2. So for x1, the value associated is 18, okay? Right, so let's use this formula on the right-hand side. So the sample standard deviation, denoted by capital S, is going to be the square root and then the sum of this. So this means that we're first going to have x1, okay? We're first going to have x1 minus x bar. So x1 we said was day 1, so 18 minus the sample mean, which is 19, and we need to square the whole thing, okay? However, because it says the sum of, denoted by this letter here, means we need to do this for all the x's. So this was x1, so now we do x2. So plus x2, we said is day 2, is associated with 17. So 17 minus 19 squared, okay? You see what I'm talking about? So let's do that for the 6 days. So then x3, so plus 23 minus 19 squared, plus day 4, 16 minus 19 squared, plus 21 minus 19 squared, minus 19 squared, plus 19 minus 19 squared. And then the whole thing is over n minus 1. So n was the sample size. So as you can see in this exercise, the sample size is 6, okay? Because there's 6 days. So 6 minus 1. And the whole thing square rooted. Okay, and now we just need to solve. So this is equal to the square root. 18 minus 19 is minus 1. Squared is positive 1. So 1. Plus 17 minus 19 is minus 2. Squared is plus 4. 23 minus 19, 4. Squared is 16. 16 minus 19 minus 3 squared is 9. 21 minus 19 is 2, squared is 4. And 19 minus 19 is 0, so it's 0. Okay. Over 6 minus 1, which is 5. And the whole thing is square rooted. Right. Then 1 plus 4 plus 16 plus 9 plus 4 is equal to 34. So we get the square root of 34 over 5. And if you solve this, you should get that the sample standard deviation is 2.608. So that would be the standard deviation of the sample. That's it for this exercise. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them.